let's dive right in. We're about to explore a world that's usually hidden in shadows and myths. So I need you to do something for me. Take every story you've ever heard about the Jinn, the scary campfire tales, the genies in a bottle, and just park it for a minute. We're going to look at what's really going on behind the curtain. So let's just start with this one powerful question. What if all those things you've been told, all those ideas you have, what if they're not just incomplete, but maybe completely off the mark? Because the reality of their world is so much stranger and honestly way more fascinating than any folklore. This isn't about scaring you, it's about understanding a piece of our world that's been misunderstood for a very, very long time. To really get a handle on the Jinn, we gotta zoom out first. We need to see where they fit in the grand scheme of creation. And believe it or not, it's actually pretty simple when you break it down. See, all of creation can be sorted into two main buckets. First, you've got the walkers. That's us, humans, and pretty much every animal that lives on the ground. Simple enough. But then you have the flyers. Now, don't just think of birds here. A flyer is any being that moves through a medium. So yeah, birds fly through the air, but fish fly through water. And this is where it gets really interesting. Both angels and jinn fall into this exact same category. All right, so they're flyers. Got it. But what does that actually mean? Let's get into the nitty-gritty. Think of this next part as your own personal field guide to the Jinn. What are they made of? Where do they hang out? And what's on the menu? The answers are probably not what you're expecting. The source material for the Jinn is something called Marj min nar, which literally translates to a smokeless fire. But here's the thing, don't picture a bonfire or a raging flame. It's much more subtle, like a pure, invisible form of energy. And this is so crucial because this origin is what makes them unbelievably light, almost weightless, which allows them to exist as beings of the air. So that completely rewrites where they live. You can forget all about the spooky abandoned houses and creepy ruins from the stories. No, their true home, their natural habitat, is the Earth's atmosphere itself. And think about it, this makes perfect sense when you remember the story of Prophet Solomon. He was given power over the wind. Why the wind? Because by commanding the wind, he was commanding the very medium the Jinn inhabit. And they're not just up there floating around. They actually have a pretty important job. You can think of them as part of a natural cosmic filtration system for our planet. They absorb a specific kind of water from the atmosphere, and in doing so, they keep the air balanced and pure. Their existence is literally necessary to keep our world from becoming, well, a saturated mess. So what is this water they're absorbing? Well, their one and only food source is something called ma al-gadak, or abundant water. Now, this is not just any H2O. It's a very specific kind of atmospheric moisture, and the key is that it's been charged up with certain sound frequencies. This is what they spend their lives searching for. It's the fuel that sustains their light, fiery bodies. So, if you could actually see one, what would you be looking at? Well, they're incredibly simple creatures. For starters, they're tiny. We're talking maybe 20 to 30 centimeters tall. Their physical form is basic and transparent, kind of like a jellyfish, and their internal systems are stripped down to the bare essentials, a system to absorb their food, a heart that allows them to comprehend things, and this is maybe the most important part, a super advanced hearing system. Their entire world, their entire existence revolves around sound. So what's it like to be a Jinn? Well, their whole existence, and I mean their entire life, boils down to this crazy paradox. They are caught in a constant struggle between an incredible strength and a really, really debilitating weakness. And here it is. On one hand, their great strength is an unbelievable lifespan. They can live for thousands of years. I mean, there were Jinn around at the time of Prophet Muhammad who were also alive during the time of Moses. But on the other hand, they have this massive weakness. Their memory is terrible. They can live for a millennium and only remember a handful of big moments, with huge gaps of nothing in between. And this quote just nails it perfectly. Imagine that. Your entire life is just two things: searching for your next meal and running from whatever dangers are out there. It's an endless cycle of search and escape, over and over again. And this constant grind, this relentless cycle of survival, leads them to a state called a rock. Now, this isn't just feeling a bit worn out. No, it's a deep, soul-crushing exhaustion that's at the very core of their being. This rock is their single greatest vulnerability. It's the heavy price they pay for their fragile existence. Okay, so we've established they're these exhausted, struggling beings, which kind of flips the script on how we usually see them, right? This brings us to the big question, the one everyone wants to know. Who is actually more powerful? And for the final, definitive answer, there's no better place to look than the story of Prophet Solomon. So picture the scene. Solomon is holding court with humans, jinn, all sorts of creatures. And he throws out this challenge. He asks, who here can bring me the throne of the Queen of Sheba before she and her entourage arrive? 2 volunteers step up. First, you get this really powerful jinn, an Afrit, who makes a bold promise based on pure physical power and speed. He says, I can get it here before you even stand up from your council. Pretty impressive, right? But then, a human steps forward, someone described as having knowledge from the book. And his offer is even more astonishing. He says, I'll bring it to you in the blink of an eye. And who won? The human, hands down. The throne appeared right there, instantly. And this is so important. It wasn't a contest of speed or muscle. It was a contest of knowledge, a power given by God that operates on a totally different level, a dimension the jinn simply can't access. So that whole saga with Solomon leaves us with 2 huge, unmissable lessons. The first one is for us, for humanity. It's proof that our own potential, when connected to true knowledge from God, is so much greater than anything the jinn can do. And the second lesson? Well, that came after Solomon's death, when the jinn kept working for him, totally unaware he was gone. It was the ultimate proof of their limitation. They have zero knowledge of the unseen. So when you put it all together, what do you get? This creature that we've built up into this terrifying figure in our minds is in reality a simple, exhausted being locked in a permanent state of just trying to survive. And this quote just sums up the fundamental difference between us and them perfectly. We humans are beings of deep existence. We have a physical body, a spirit, an intellect. We operate across multiple worlds. The jinn? They are beings of light existence, living in a single dimension, driven by nothing more than their most basic needs. So what do we walk away with? 3 really clear things. Number 1, fear comes from not knowing. Once you understand what they are, the fear just melts away. Number 2, we have been blessed with so much more potential, so many more capabilities. And finally, number 3, trying to get help from a jinn is like asking the weak to help the strong. It's completely backward, and it only leads to more exhaustion and confusion for everybody. And that leaves us with one final thought. After all this, the real focus shouldn't be on them at all. The important question isn't about their limited power. The real question turns right back around to us. What are the incredible, God-given capabilities that are lying dormant inside of you, just waiting to be discovered?